Therefore, esa infada walden bara la bara campo la roberi. Thank you guys. Najarango. Abara. Okay guys, Omar Bon, just a short video to remind each other, to encourage each other. Jamaican Safari, more fire. Let's keep pushing. We're almost at the finish line. I guess partly because since the airing of Mr. Dabo's documentary, a lot of people have come out to say that they didn't realize the extent of the sacrifice that he made. And that highlights the problem that we have in that country. And that problem is that we have misinformation in that country. There is not a lot of information, or at least the information is skewed. A lot of people that are active in our politics in that country came about during the time of Yahya Jammeh or shortly before he came to power. And his entire 2 decades was characterized by misinformation and lies and deception, to the extent that people don't know the truth about our country and the sacrifices that people made to fight and restore sanity in our country. Nancy, Madam Fenjafol. So that has been our problem for the longest time. I remember sharing a video about a month ago of Mr. Dabo talking to the police who were trying to deny them a permit, and the way he was forcefully talking, people were like, wow. Because so much of that was hidden. There was no media coverage. There was no information sharing during Yahya Jammeh's time, because that was basically a suicide mission if you try to do that. So all these things that were happening were done in the shadows. At least the people who were active or involved, who are people involved or had a stake in the politics in the country, knew what was going on. But to a large extent, people were completely shut out, or they shut themselves out from Gambian politics. So which is why all these surprises are coming out. It's forgivable, it's excusable, we understand it. What we don't appreciate or what we don't like is the fact that when people tell you this is what has been going on, you don't want to listen to it, or you want to besmirch people's character that you don't know anything about. That is the hard part about it. You can say, personally, I don't like Dabo. Personally, I don't like the UDP. I prefer somebody else. That's fine. But I've always been saying it. Let us not take away from each other the gains that somebody made. That man sacrificed for that country. And you saw in that video as well, Single Nyasi was featured there. Femi Peters was featured there. These people did all they could in that country to make sure sanity was returned, because we were saddled with a tyrant who has no sympathy, no empathy, has no regard for human value. That was the problem we were facing in that country. For 2 decades, people disappearing. Nobody was more tortured than Single Nyasi. We've seen those people and what they did for our country. The least we can do is appreciate their efforts. Even if you don't feel like they're going to deliver the goods that we need in that country, that's fine. That's your own perception. But don't take away from them the good things that they did for the country. And we all know where we are right now as a country. We are not headed in the right direction. Nothing is right in that country. We need a change of leadership. That is an established fact. Everybody agrees to that. And Adama Barrow, being the type of leader that he is, he thought what suits him more was to have this simple majority provision in the constitution so that he will easily sail smoothly to the presidency again using the power of incumbency. So everybody in that country who wants to be rational, who wants to be logical, and who wants to be reasonable will realize that at this point, the race is between the UDP and the incumbent. That's it. I've always said it, it's not just the leader, it's those around the leader, but it's not just them as well. It is the policies and programs that are thrown out there for you to look at and see if this is something that will improve lives in our country. And so far, nobody has matched the UDP. That much we know. How many of the political parties have brought out their manifestos in time? A whole month just went past where the UDP started from the first town, from Bara, all the way up to the end of the country and back on the South Bank, selling their 5-point agenda. But for 2 decades, what we've been hearing, they have no policy, they are tribalists, they have no agenda, they are tribalists. They want to create instability in this country. At some point, you try to shut it out, but you can't, because those are not true. People are just trying to hold on to the figment of their imagination, trying to create fear in people. Or if a UDP government comes, this is what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen, all negative. But you know where the country is. It's not headed in the right direction, and it's not going to change course if we maintain the current leadership in there. So what is stopping you from, at least for once, the preaching country first, you know if you want something, you have to put effort in it. Who has put more effort in trying to win over Gambians than UDP? There's no political party that has put in more effort in terms of their grassroots engagement and constantly going around the country to educate people about what needs to be done in that country. Nobody has done it more than UDP. So if hard work pays, they did more work than anybody else. That much you have to give them credit for. You look at their policies, where are the flaws? Let's debate on those issues. But you still don't get that. We don't like Dabo, we don't like Dabo. Why don't you like Dabo? And yesterday what you saw is just a snippet. How can you say a man who is 70 plus years that you want to narrate his entire life in just 2 hours? It was excellent work, great work, and it's timely. But some people have already made up their mind, oh, this is all political. Let's celebrate our own. How do we celebrate them when they are no longer here? You have seen the toll that Yahya Jammeh's reign has taken on the families of those people that I mentioned, from Dabo all the way through all members of the UDP, highlighting Single Nyasi and Femi Peters, Kemes Jammeh, and all of them, what their families went through. All because of what? What is going on in the country, we didn't like it, and we need to speak up. And Yahya Jammeh said nobody should speak up in that country. So now it's a 2-horse race. Who are you going to bet on? Because you personally don't like UDP and Dabo, you're going to make sure the status quo continues. Well, we know what Barrow promised us. That when he gets another mandate on his own accord, because he came on a coalition arrangement, if he gets another mandate on his own accord, all these rights that you're concerned about will be eroded gradually. That has already started. How long has it been since those 2 tons of drugs were intercepted in the Gambia? When has the government ever came out and said anything about that? As if it doesn't matter, as if our country's youths don't matter. The constitution that we all sought to see that it is implemented in the Gambia so that we can at least breathe some fresh air and set new path for our country. He's scuttled. Why? Because he wants a different outcome for him, his own personal gains than for the country. So the way I see it is that the dislike for the UDP is not based on policy, it's not based on substance, it's not based on anything but personal egos and personal dislikes. So if you're going to hold on to that, hold on to it, that's fine, that's your right. But stop calling for Gambia first, because you know where Gambia is not ideal. And where it's headed is even worse. So at this point, what we should all be focused on is either support UDP or promote your candidate. But let us stop all these attacks, and that's the challenge I want to put out there. Starting from tomorrow, we have a no-nonsense boycott. For all nonsense on Facebook, ignore them. If you see a post that is so annoying, you feel like you have to say something, bring it to your wall, let's talk about it. But from now against December, for that whole month, 34 days to go, what we need to do is focus entirely on our agenda. Try to win hearts and minds. Try to convince people that we have the best leadership in that country. We saw Bibi Dabo came and John endorsed Dabo's presidency, and they will throw their weight behind him. That is what being realistic is. He is seasoned enough to know that in the Gambian politics, UDP carries the heaviest weight, and they stand the best chance of deposing the incumbent through the democratic means. And what we need as a country, first and foremost, is to depose the incumbent, because he has failed us. Is UDP government going to be perfect? No. Is Dabo perfect? No. Will they make mistakes? Yes. Will we be disappointed? Yes. But you can bet your bottom dollar that none of that will be intentional. They will not intentionally set out to trample on our rights. They will not intentionally set out to have bad policies effected in that country. It will not be perfect. We say we are a democracy, or we're aiming to be a democracy, the foremost democracy in the world. What do they say? To create a more perfect union. So it's a work in progress. What we had was tyranny, marred by corruption and human rights violations. We got rid of that. What we are left with now is corruption and incompetence. Tyranny will never come back to the Gambia. We know that. So we put that in the dustbin of history. Barrow is trying it, but he will not succeed because the Gambian will stand in his way. That much we know. So now we get rid of, since we got rid of the tyranny and the lack of respect for our rights, what we have now is incompetence marred by corruption, and our country gradually becoming a drug hub in that sub-region. Economic, failures in all spheres of our Gambian life. So what we need to do now is vote to change that. UDP government, which we believe is going to be the next government, will get some things wrong. But like I said, none of it will be intentional. And we'll be there side by side to say, yes, this is wrong. And we expect the leadership to listen, and they will listen because they have a track record for it. Leadership is a position of trust. That's what we keep harping on. Somebody who has been in the public life for over 4 decades, how in your right mind can you compare it to somebody that you only knew for 6 months before the elections, or maybe even less than that? Because that's the story of Adama Barrow. Who in their right mind will compare Adama Barrow to Lawyer Dabo? Oh, UDP gave us Adama Barrow. Like, you don't know the story behind that. We need to stop denying history. We need to stop being people who just want to listen to things that please us. Because we know what happened in that country that led to the outcome that we had in 2016. We know that. So if this man falls short of our expectations, what we expect is to change him. No excuse need to be made for that. And it doesn't need to be, oh, you guys gave us this guy, so whoever else you're going to give us is going to be as bad as him. But who we're giving you is the same person we've been giving you for over 2 decades. Oh, he's too old. There's always an excuse there. We get it. But realistically, UDP stands the best chance, and everybody who is rational enough, who is reasonable enough, knows that they stand the best chance because they have put in the most effort to make sure that things change in that country. You don't have to support the party. You don't have to like the party. But for the sake of the country, let us take the votes away from Adama Barrow and make sure his term ends, to show him that our country deserves better and he doesn't have anything to offer us even close to what we need. So I'm glad that this documentary is out. A great job that was done by the team, Kerfatu and their allies that all helped in so many different ways to bring out these stories. These are the reality. Tyranny thrives on lies and deception, and Yahya Jammeh was very good at crafting such lies and deception, labeling UDP as a tribalist party, bent on creating havoc in that country when he was the one killing people in the dark, even in broad daylight when the April 11 and 12 incidents happened. But he doesn't want you to see that. He wants you to see those that are rivaling him as the enemies of the country. Adama Barrow is doing exactly the same thing. He feels like he is entitled to this seat, that he needs to be there whether he's delivering or not. So the ball is in your court now. I know we've been disenfranchised in diaspora, but we all have people back home. We all have family back home that we can talk to. Let them get out, let them vote, and let them vote against Adama Barrow. That has been our focus since this launching of the 5-point agenda has been try to stay away from these petty side issues and tell you, hey, look, this is what the UDP is presenting. Do you think it's going to be, something that will take the Gambia from where it is to a better place? Just look at it. But still people are bent on, coalition 2016, UDP led to its failure. That achieved the goals that it was set out to achieve, which was end tyranny in our country. However you feel about that, we are in a new situation that demands that we have change in that country. Who would have thought that Yahya Jammeh will be a relevant factor in this election? But he is, thanks to Adama Barrow. He should not be anywhere, even part of the equation. He should not even be close to any of the equation. Nobody should even be talking about him. What we should be talking about is, okay, UDP presented their 5-point agenda. Is that workable? Is it going to deliver the goods for the Gambia? Yes. That's what I believe. If you don't agree, then bring us the, say for example, PDIS agenda. This is what they have in store for the Gambia. So let's debate. Let's see where they have a convergence of ideas. That is what is going to move us forward, and we stop all this sensationalism and, being sentimental about issues. People died in that country. That is why we get angry a lot of times when people attack the personality of people they know nothing about. People who suffered, bled, and died for that country. It would have been so easy to abandon ship, join Yahya Jammeh, and get the benefits that everybody else is getting. But the essence of public service is selflessness. That's it. And you see that embodied in the leadership of the UDP. When it was hard, they stuck it out. Until the very end in 2016, when they marched out. We all saw that video even before yesterday where Dabo is saying the leadership will be in front. If bullets come, they will hit us first. Because they didn't expect that they will be arrested and taken to Mile 2. They expected that at that crucial time, soldiers will come out and start firing to kill them, because they have tried everything since '96 to put the leadership of the UDP in their tribes, in their traps, and they failed. So at that crucial point in April, and then we had elections in December, UDP coming out so boldly saying we're going to stage a demonstration, the leadership knew death is what is going to meet us there. It just didn't happen, but that's what they were expecting. So you heard it in that video. They were out there prepared to go out and die. Because that's what it has come to. If you can kidnap somebody in broad daylight and go kill him in the name of interrogation, what else is left there now? They're going to start picking us one by one and killing us like chickens. We are going out and we're going to go, and if we're going to die, let us die. But this has to stop. That is the ultimate sacrifice. That's the end of selflessness. It doesn't matter how selfless you are, you cannot give more than your own life. And these people did that. That's what we need in a country. You be selfless to the point that you don't want people's money, you don't want their assets, you don't want anything. And you had people tell you, we travel with Dabo to go to international events or occasions for the sake of the country. As soon as the thing wrapped up, he said, let's go home. But we had stories all there, per diem hunting and all that. And they come back and return the money back to the state. That's what we need, because corruption is our main problem right now. Before this, it was tyranny, trampling on our lives, killing us and disappearing us. We succeeded in removing that. Now let us remove that corruption and give the country to people who are selfless with a proven track record. We know because they have been there. They have stood the test of time and they have proven that they are loyal to the country and they will not be swayed by, cheap, assets that Yahya Jammeh might throw their way. They have proven that. So what are we waiting for? Like I said, are they going to be perfect? No. They will not be perfect, but we will be there as citizens to tell them, hey, you did this, it's not right. We demand better. And we have all learned lessons from 2016. That in order for you to serve the country, you got to do way better than Adama Barrow is doing. And that's what we are asking for. So please, let us focus. Starting tomorrow, nonsense boycott. That's what I will call it. Boycott all nonsense. If people want to be out there, after all the evidence that they're seeing, and they want to twist it and spin it and say whatever they want to say, let them go ahead. But right now, let us focus. Whatever you post, whatever videos you're going to make, whatever calls you're going to make, let's vote Adama Barrow out. That's the message. And when I do mine, I'll say vote for UDP, because that's where my heart's like. If you feel like somebody else has a better chance, go for that. As long as we kick Adama Barrow out, it is now time for that to happen. We are at that stage in the country. So let's buckle up. Let's put our efforts together and kick him out. Thank you guys very much. Allah Baraka. We'll be doing this more regularly since we cannot be on the ground to campaign. And then he ran. I cannot get him. So now I have to do this online. So let's buckle up. Let's do our part. Call our people. And let's make sure that Adama Barrow goes. Thank you.